Alright, aloha family, Spencer-Mack here. It has been some time since I've contributed anything, so there's a lot I could talk about. And I find that I inhibit myself from sharing because I want to share one solid, concise idea all the time. But this time, just for the sake of getting it out there, because it's been so long, I just want to take my time and talk story over a variety of ideas. In Hawaii, they have a saying called talk story. You get up and you just kick it and you share stories. And that's how information was exchanged back in the day. Believe it or not, we'd actually have time to talk to each other. And I know that's something I'm working on myself, is learning just to slow down and to do one thing at a time. So right now, the one thing that I am doing is making a video to share what I've found to be beneficial in my life, because I love to contribute to you guys. We got an awesome synergy going. I love the community and the support. It's been stellar. Which brings me to my next point. I've been doing a lot more on Instagram because that's just easier for me to do. So if you want to check that out, my Instagram tag is Spencer.Mack. And yeah, it's just so much more simple for me to catch little tidbits throughout the day of what I'm working on. And there's been a lot. There's a lot involved in this life, my friends, as you well know. And I know most of what I've been sharing is diet. I've shared a lot of stuff on meditation and prayer as well. Some other things that I've been working on recently that are exciting to me is playing with magnetism, pulsed electromagnetic fields to be precise. I got schooled in that a few years ago when I was living in Thailand. I was schooled in electromagnetic therapy as well as ozone therapy when I studied at a detox center. And so I've recently really been bringing those tools back, and I've gotten some new insight into those things. The pulse magnetic therapy I'm most interested in using to support my sleep, and I have some cool ideas that are going along with that, namely that I'm using it to create a field with a delta wave. Delta is the lower end of the frequency waves where your brain goes when you sleep. It's underneath 4 hertz. 1 hertz is just one wave, one oscillation per second. So when we go to sleep, these higher frequencies, this chattery mind slows down. And to me, I've been focusing a lot on sleep recently, because that has been kind of like the final frontier for me. I experiment a lot with myself. There's a lot of variables, and I throw my sleep off consistently doing that. And to get good sleep is an art. So I've really been focusing on that. And I've gone through phases in my past where I've really focused on sleep, and I find myself back there again. I just did that delta wave frequency for the first time last night and actually slept really good. And notably, because of that, I'm sharing a lot more. I'm making a whole bunch of Instagram stories, writing, connecting with people, making phone calls. I want to make a video. The importance of sleep cannot be disregarded. It's extremely important. It begins your whole day. So a lot of that also has to do with eating properly, because oftentimes trying to eat so many calories in the evening, when I'm playing around and changing different variables in my diet, trying new supplements, I'll throw my sleep off or throw my guts off, my intestinal tract, and that doesn't help me sleep. And then the next day you're more tired, so you're going to make poor decisions when you're not clear. You're probably not going to train or train as hard, probably not going to eat as well, or be more prone to break into those old habits. So that's my new saying now, is start at the end. Begin with sleep. The art of resetting, of clearing, of starting over. And that's why meditation is so key. When we can really master that meditation, and we're able to intermittently throughout the day stop ourselves and zero and clear our minds. And remember, we don't have to be in a hurry. and just take one thing at a time, one thought at a time. I like consciously stating it, what I'm doing right now. I'm going to do this. I know where I'm going after that. I don't have to think about all that right now. I'm just doing this one thing. And really, it all comes down to the fact, I believe, you're always only doing one thing. So master that art and you'll get good at everything. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I've been looking into a lot of experiments and research. I read research constantly. It's like a hobby for me. I'm constantly playing with variables in my lifestyle, different elements from sleep to diet to training to detox to sauna therapy, meditation, breath patterns and techniques. There's a lot of amazing research out there. So that's a whole nother concept, is the art of researching properly. Google Scholar. If you just type Scholar into Google, and you can go to Google Scholar, and it searches all of a variety of databases that have research papers posted in them. And that's where I get most of my information from. Granted, you have to develop the vocabulary to understand what they're talking about, and you have to dig through a lot of mess. A lot of times, like say you read the conclusion of what they came to, then you actually read the study, they are misinterpreting the actual results, so you really have to actually go back through studies, and studies will hold little gems in them that they're not actually sharing in the end, in the conclusion, and that weren't actually their original reason for having a study. So digging into new information is almost like an addiction to me. I love it. I love combining the new insights that we have, being right on the edge and mixing them together and see what happens. I've been playing with heart rate variability a lot, using a heart rate monitor and doing different meditations with that, testing myself right when I wake up in the morning, because that's a way you can kind of gauge how stressed your body is, how well you recovered. You can use it to track your sleep at night as well. And I've been wearing it when I train and working on getting my heart rate to the maximum twice a day has been my ideal focus. I don't actually train that long these days. My training has become real concise, 15 to 20 minutes. Really good warm-up. I've got the warm-up dialed. I'm good at feeling my body out and going through all the joints, waking my breath up, full exhales, full inhales, stretching out my nervous system basically is what you're doing to wake yourself up. And then I'll either hit some heavy weight, hit some sprints, something that brings me to my edge. And it doesn't take me that long. And there's some cool studies out there that demonstrate that you run a sprint to your maximum capacity for 30 seconds and your growth hormone is boosted like 430%. You do 2 sprints, it's at 577%. It'll remain that high for at least 2 hours before it starts going down. So I'm more interested these days in short, high-intensity training and not overdoing it so that I don't tax myself so much that I can't do it again the next day or that evening, because I do that in the morning and then in the evening. And when it's real quick and simple and easy like that, I'm less likely to skip out on it, because I'm just like, dude, just go do 2 sets. You just have to go lift the hex bar twice. Hex bar is my favorite thing to lift right now. I can put a lot of weight on it and it's in good posture. It's like doing a squat, but you actually have to hold the weight, because I don't like squats with a lot of weight on my shoulders. I don't like the way it feels on my spine. So I got a hex bar. I just got a whole bunch more weight plates, because I ran out. I could do more than I had. And right now my PR, I can hex bar squat 390 pounds. But that was after doing 380 3 times. So I bet you I'm like in the low 400s. So that's the way that I like to train these days. And my diet has shifted a little bit in this last week. I've spent so much time refining my food and trying different dietary practices and protocols that where I find myself at now is just so simple. I mean, it's complex in some ways, don't get me wrong. It's just so simple that whenever people ask me like, hey, you got recipes or share with me what you eat? I'm like, you should have caught me about a year ago when I was really into like making culinary arts, a lot of spices and flavors and variety of plants or elements, and now I'm just really simple. I basically, for the last couple months, was living mainly off of sachi inchi, which is a seed, grows on a vine, really high in omega essential fatty acids, high in protein, high in fiber. It's basically perfect ketogenic food. The ratios are literally ideal for what I want to eat in my own macro profile. And so that was like a majority of my food. And people ask for recipes, I'm like, have you tried sachi inchi peanut butter? Because that's what I was making. I have a melanger, a stone grinder, throw a bunch of sachi inchi in there, it turns into butter. Delicious. I was using that. Okay, this is a little culinary fun here. I was using that to make a peanut sauce, like an Asian style peanut sauce, spicy, sweet, savory, and then cooking some kind of soy in that, some form of soy. Or I'd have that as a dressing on top of a big salad, depending on what I'm craving. Sometimes I really am craving juicy food, I'll get more lettuces, more juicy vegetables in there. But the main platform that I was eating on was the sachi inchi and the soy, and it was just delicious. But I got to a point where I was like a little done with the sachi inchi. I was done with the peanut butter. I can still just eat them whole. They're delicious, love them. But now I've almost put myself onto, I don't even like the word cleanse because I don't believe in cleanses. I believe in figuring out the right lifestyle that you can sustain. But just to make it easier in my mind, I'm kind of on a little temporary protocol where I'm basically just living on the Alixir or the smoothie, the nutrient-dense breakfast shake. In the almond protocol, you break your fast with a nutrient-dense shake. That's one of the main things that I learned from almond, the intelligence behind that fasting, and then collectively creating a very nutrient-dense and easily absorbable substance that you break your fast with. And then after that, you have all your nutrition. The meal, the food you're eating is not that big of a deal, honestly. Just don't eat things that damage you. But the main idea is to get all of your nutrition in that shake. And I'm just kind of taking that to the next level right now in kind of an exaggerated, extreme way. I am an extreme kind of person. I don't know if you've noticed. I try a lot of things. I love experimenting. It's definitely backfired a lot of times. I've definitely put my body in some intense situations, but I love it. I love learning the things that work to grow, to develop, to become and experience a higher state. It's really enjoyable when it works out. You just gotta make it through all those trials that didn't. Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm talking story. That's what I'm talking about. Because I'm not in a hurry. So my diet now, I'm drinking the smoothie. I'm on a higher amount of protein, and since I'm doing the ketogenic diet, I'm using hemp, flax oil, sachi inchi oil. I would blend the flax and the hemp together in the right ratios. Flax, let me make sure my camera's not gonna die. I got 10% battery. Flax to hemp, 2-to-1, equals a 3-to-2 omega-3 to 6 ratio. And out of all of the studies that I've read on the essential fatty acids, that ratio seems to be the most ideal. And most of that is based on me seeing studies on animals and reproduction. Their ability to reproduce, the health of their sperm, the size of their litter, the amount of offspring, the health of the offspring, as well as other various research studies that demonstrate the omega-3s being anti-inflammatory. They go to your skin, to your brain, like I said, lowering the amount of inflammation, creating a more fluid cell membrane, so the communication from the outside and the inside of the cell is more efficient. So basically it's a more efficient fuel. And omega-3 actually breaks down into ketones more efficiently just because of the structure that it has. It's preferentially burned as fuel whenever it comes into the brain or into the body. the brain will choose that fuel over most other lipids. So that makes me want to consume a lot of it, considering I'm on a ketogenic diet. I'm trying to keep my carbs low, and just play with that for a while. And so basically I've been having a protein smoothie and having like almost 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories of oil in it, like flax and hemp and sacha inchi. And that's been a majority of my calories. And I've stepped back from the full day fast. On most days, I will have about a fourth of that smoothie around 3 o'clock. I just find that is where I'm consistently finding hunger and I'm less productive. And most of the time, if I was eating food around that time, it would make me more hungry, so I didn't want to eat food either. But I've found with this, if I'm consuming a lot of fat like that, straight oils and protein being the most satiating macronutrient, the hunger's gone. You know, so I'll drink a little bit of it if I need it around 3 o'clock. I'm basically making the same smoothie and I'll just make a fourth of it. I'll take a fourth of my calories of the whole thing and consume that around 3. And that makes it really easy. Then I'm definitely, you know, gonna be able to train hard in the evening too and make it to dinner no problem. And a lot less cravings. Like my hunger right now has been way lower than it has been in a long time. I honestly don't think about food till about 3 o'clock. But I'm in a place right now, I'm not trying to stress myself to push it. I want it to be easy. I have this concept in my head that I can find a way to make all day fasting completely easy. And so I'm stepping back right now a little bit so that I can maintain this and to see what it does. Because the more that I do consume of that, the less likely, you know, I don't have any cravings. I'm not going to fall off. I can be more consistent for a longer period of time. So I've really been digging it. It's been about 4 days right now, so I can't call it an experiment. There's no result to share, but I am really enjoying it so far, funny enough. Even though it sounds so constricted, it seems like it's so disciplined to some people, but that is just where I feel best. I'm amazed at how satiating it is. So there's a lot of elements in it, right? I put prebiotic fiber in it. My blend of prebiotic fiber right now is gum acacia, inulin, and psyllium. The ratios of which it's, let me see, 2-to-1 psyllium, gum acacia, and inulin. So those are prebiotic fibers. Just because I'm drinking a lot of oil and a lot of protein doesn't mean that I'm pooping fat. My bowel movements are very healthy, which is a very good way to monitor how good your diet's doing and how well your system is operating. So that for me has been a clear sign that it is actually working very well for me. I also put elements like bromelain, papain, or digestive enzymes from plants, and lipase to digest the fat. Since I'm eating a lot of fat, I'm eating a lot of protein, I take those enzymes with it. I put those in the shake, and I have no digestive complaints on it. At the end of the night, when I'm done drinking my shake, if I'm still hungry, I'll just eat sacha inchi nuts. That's where I'm at right now. This is my cleanse. This is my fast that I'm on, just to see where it gets me. And the fact that it's so satiating, I've been sleeping better, has me stoked on it. So I wanted to update you guys on that. Yeah, the enzymes are a critical aspect. There are some cool studies demonstrating you take protein with enzymes, your muscle protein synthesis goes up by 120-something%. So the utilization of the amino acids that you eat or the fat that you eat is going to be a lot higher. Also, along with the prebiotic fibers, there's probiotics in there as well. I go for a variety. I rotate through different kinds, but those probiotics synergistically work with the omega-3s. I've learned all of this stuff starting to link together. The omega-3s help the bacteria adhere to the gut wall. Let me see how my battery is doing. I can't check right now. I'm gonna try and keep this a little shorter then. Help the bacteria adhere to the gut wall. So it's a probiotic, prebiotic, enzymatic protein with fatty acids. And then I have a multivitamin mineral. Oh, and lecithin. I put lecithin in there as well. It helps to emulsify the fat. Since I'm eating so many oils, the lecithin helps the digestion and absorption. It also has a lot to do with the nervous system, and it's very beneficial to the health as well. It's not too expensive, so that's nice. Mainly soy protein is what I'm on, and that's what the dinner's looking like. And really focusing on getting my sleep dialed while maintaining the world as it is. All the work, all the relationships. You know the game, we're all juggling. So for me to be able to simplify my food into just this thing, that's my food. It's like a drink. It's guaranteed to satiate me. I'm totally into that. Tastes delicious. You know how creamy it is when you have that much oil in a shake? Jeez, oh my God. Consider that I've been slowly, gradually, well actually not so gradually, I've been consuming high amounts of fat for a while now, so I wouldn't just jump into high amounts of oils like that. I'd gradually increase. You know, the body adapts, it starts to produce more bile, and the liver gets better at producing the enzymes or the timing with your eating. So take it slowly if you even want to try to experiment with that. But that's where I'm at right now. High fat, high essential fatty acids, because the research on omega-3s is amazing. I'm extremely excited about it on all ends, and it's extremely satiating. So I'm slowly working on bringing my protein down, slowly working on just bringing the calories down, but this has actually made me easily be under 1,800 calories for the last 4 days. So I'm loving it. Stoked on it. Training consistently. Taking my time. As I said, sharing more stuff on Instagram, Spencer.Mack. Check me out. Let's communicate. Share some questions. And since this helps me share more freely, I may be doing talk story videos more frequently. But I will still focus on specific ideas, because as it is useful to take a larger view and just talk collectively about things, it is very important to do one thing at a time and have one idea in a very concise manner discussed and displayed. So that's where I'm at, guys. Hope this is helpful and contributing to your lives. Thank you so much for all you've contributed to me, all the support. Some very supportive individuals out there I'm extremely grateful for, really helping me to support my mission and dive even further into some of these experiments. I also offer consultations via Skype through donation. So if you're interested in talking story in any one of these facets of life, I'm all about it. Awesome, guys. Until next time, lots of love and aloha.